Hey, we're going to have a good time in this bunker GRV. That's right. I'm wearing sunglasses in the bunker, multicam in the bunker, LBE. What? LBE in the bunker. Yes, with my desert Glock. Actually, the getup I have on right now is the one I wear in the desert when I'm testing. I'll model certain clothes for you guys as we go along here. Certain outfits. Some may be ridiculous. Stay tuned. Stay subscribed. And thanks to TMP Patreon members keeping the project going. Nothing fancy. I like the shades, but you got to take them off. Well, the lights are pretty bright in here. I need everything I can to look cooler in life. But I think I will agree with you and take them off because these shades, they're not awesome for my fat face. I mean, I'll talk and they'll like pop up from the bridge of my nose. Like, hey, what's up, man? They like, boink. They just like that. See? Get this big gap right here. Horrible. They're great sunglasses, actually. I wish they would fit me. They're Chili's. They're polarized. I wore them, I don't know, circa 2010 in the project. With earmuffs, they stay in position pretty good. Oh, those lights are bright. But I'm going to keep this stuff on. That's right, modeling it. In fact, check this out. I'll get to the GRV, trust me. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about on this Palmetto Arms PA9, PG9, or PG9, yeah, that's right, PG9, PA9. First up, here's what I'm going to say to you guys watching this video. If you are a long-term TMPer, and I'm talking going back to, I don't know, 9, maybe all the way to 8, but probably 2010, and you bought this Tac Force cross-draw vest, and you still have it, don't lie, you still have it. If you're the first to comment under this video, and then I'll ask it in Twitter, I'm going to have you post a picture of you wearing it in Twitter, and you'll have to have commented both places. I'm going to send you a signed knife. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a pretty good deal. I don't know which knife. It's probably going to be a dumb one. Just kidding. It'll be cool. I still love this thing. The company went out of business probably 3 years after I reviewed it. They didn't last very long. It was made in China. But dang, is it some good kit. I'm back to it. I know a lot of guys, I've worn all kinds of LBE stuff in the desert. I just wear what works. For instance, right here, this isn't set up. I'm not trying to be cool. I was just kidding about this. This is just a working vest for me. Marker for the targets. I know, we're talking about all kinds of fun things here. And microphone, by the way, you can hear me. Yes, testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. Staple remover covered in athletic tape. That's very important, by the way, because I use it all the time. Because I'm going to show you targets, as I always do. I want to keep them clean, not tear them up. I have usually masking tape on it. Sometimes optics, laser rangefinder goes in here. And I'm not kidding about the Glock. I always have my Glock with me because I have a lot of expensive guns out there, and you never know who's going to roll up and think they're theirs. They might be surprised. So this is my Gen 3 G17. It is hot. And what am I running in it? It looks like Golden Saber. 124 Golden Sabers in it. Yeah, I mean, I love Gem 4s too and subsequent Glocks, but if it ain't broke, don't replace it. Love the Glocks. You're such a Glock fanboy, nothing fancy. I do love Glocks. They still set standards. There's a lot of great guns I've given a lot of love to. A lot. I've been very fair to them, and actually I've adopted them into my own systems. Let me see if I have an example close by. Well, I got a SIG in the background. Oh, here's one right here. Canic TP9. Boom. Bunker review. Bunker review. It's fun, nothing fancy. I love the bunker. Thank you, sir. I had a feeling you guys would. I have not officially posted my first bunker GRV, but it's coming. I also intend to do other videos here. Yeah, other videos, probably philosophical in nature. That's the plan. So I finally got around after 13 years. 13 years of making a bunker, a studio to film in. Okay, thanks for clicking on the video. I love you guys. It's a privilege for me to come in front of you, do this project. I have a blast doing it. Yes, it is a ton of work. It takes a ton of money to be an independent reviewer. Whatevs. You know, if the formula works, and thanks again to Patreon, if it wasn't for them, I'd probably just be kicking out 2 vids a month, maybe less, in FaceTube, YouTube. We're talking about Palmetto arms. And I got to tell you, you may think I'm on their payroll. I am not. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 Palmetto arms posting. And what it was is just Wyatt, who I trust. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He and I see a lot of the same things the same way. We'll walk through the store of Gunnies, the great American gun store, supporting TMP for many years now. I don't pay them. They do not pay me. It's just a free association to support the gun show. And we'll walk to the showroom, and I'll say, what's new? We start having a talk. And I started looking at these Palmetto arms, and then I looked at the prices on them. And then I said to myself, And I talked to Wyatt too. I was like, if these shoot well, I can be really excited about these guns because I like high value stuff. I am at my core a high value guy. I do have some higher end kit, but like this, the Nailer, Mistress of Dangerous Things, 6.5 Creed long range. But it's not my nature to be, going to something uber expensive. I like something high value. For instance, the watch for the review is a CCCP Aurora mass drop version. You should have bought it when I tweeted it. Didn't see that? Join Twitter. Come on now. $100, $99. Dude, it's awesome. It has a Seiko NH35 movement, Italian leather strap, beautiful face, high legibility, rotating bezels, kind of a cross between a field watch and a dive watch. Pretty awesome. And then my wrist is checked up. I'm laughing because every time I come on camera, something's wrong with me. Nothing fancy, you're falling apart. I think it's temporary. I think it is, and I just keep trucking, so whatevs. And I have an Apple Watch sewn on this wrist brace. I'm laughing because guys like, oh my gosh, nothing fancy, you and your systems. I know, that's why you watch, right? I have systems. I put thought into it. You like my systems. You like my systems. All right, so back to PSA, Palmetto State Armory. I'm not associated with them. They probably hated me from my first AR-15 review I did of them, which did not perform what I thought was up to an adequate level, and I said as much. I caught a lot of heat for that. I don't care. I don't care. Truth stands the test of time. And not that I get everything right. I don't. I mean, I just try, and I'll merge with some data from the desert, maybe some outings to the range, and then I come up with an opinion, the crew and I, and usually it's right. I mean, I think usually you can buy something that I, opine on favorably, and you'll be happy. Sometimes it doesn't work out, and again, I'm not doing samples of 5. I'm usually doing samples of 1. So who knows? Anyways, these guns here have been doing really good. I posted a Palmetto State Armory PA-10. That's an AR-10 video. It's coming up soon. It'll break first in Patreon, probably by 2 to 3, maybe 4 weeks prior to the main channel because the views are so sucky on the main channel. Guys ain't showing up, so I don't post very fast there. If they did, I would. But if you want access to the content, exclusive content, just posted the Porsche racing video there. It's on Patreon. Look it up. Patreon. I know it's not perfect. It's not. Nothing's perfect. YouTube is not perfect. So, if you're going to say, oh, this and that, well, you basically have to unjack from modern society and go live on an island or remotely in the Alaskan wilderness. I feel I can do a lot more good with the system I'm using right now, and it's working. Oh, yeah, we're talking about an AR-9. So this is the one I got for you guys. And I do have a couple that I'm going to show you as we go along. This is a PG9. I think it's the previous generation of Palmetto State Armory AR-9s. Now, I may use PG9, PA9, PSA AR-9 interchangeably. There have been some changes generationally to these guns. I don't know if I'm the expert to know everything that's changed. I think it has a lot to do with the stock, has a lot to do with how they put the bolt together. I may or may not remember that, and it has something to do with maybe some muzzle devices and that. But I think the core is essentially the same, whether you go to a PG9, a PA9. So I think this review that I'm attempting to make right now will span all decades of time for at least this style of Palmetto State Armory AR9. I did go to their website, and you know where I'm going. You know where I'm going. You're going to rant about how much you hate PSA's website, nothing fancy. Right. It's a mess. It's a hot mess. And this is the main thing I don't like about it. Trust me, I'll make this short. I love your rants, nothing. You need to make it easy for your consumer to find the damn guns. Just the guns. Granted, PSA is a parts manufacturer. Guys go there to buy barrels, uppers, lowers, buffer assemblies, whatever, and then they piecemeal roll their own AR9, AR15, AR10, whatever. I get that. It's a parts place. I love direct order. Love it. But make it easy to have the guns. Better pictures too. More simple. And by the way, this would really take it over the top to make it awesome. Have them in stock once in a while. Love your rants, nothing. I mean, dang, son. Every time I go to their website, they're out of stock. I'm a consumer advocate here in the Nut and Fancy Project. Always have been, always will be. I think most of y'all trust my voice. I have no other agenda than to serve you as I would serve my own consumerism, my own purchases. Have them in stock. I'm going to roll some screen footage on there, and I think every PA9 is out of stock. Don't know what to tell you. I did tell Gunnies, the Great American Gun Store, Orem, Utah, Wyatt. I said, stock up on these dudes. You might have some TMPers roll in there and maybe ask for one or two. So if you're in the local area, go by, check it out. You're going to find this is a very favorable review. I might generate some interest for the type, especially given the low price. And price is important. It's important to me. It's important to you. I really, really love, here comes one of those cast members I'm talking about. I really love the CMMG MKG guard. It is sick. This is previously reviewed. It shot extremely well. It's very lightweight, compact. It has a very interesting bolt design that is not just simple blowback. Mitigates recoil, the shooting impulse a little bit. I enjoy shooting it. Jardine and I just had a blast with this thing. It's still on loan from Gunnies. I'm going to have to take it back, and here's why. Not that I don't love it. I do, but I'm not going to spend $1,000+ on this gun. It just, for a 9mm AR pistol, no. Maybe you feel the same way. No, I just can't do it. I don't know why CMMG made it so expensive, the MKG guard. I said that in the review. No, I can't do it. But I'm going to show you a good alternative here with PSA. And there's some others I may mention before the review ends. But it gets a lot of things right. For instance, it does have last shot hold open. Again, smooth shooting, very accurate. And it didn't jam at all. I mean, I don't remember a single stoppage with the MKG guard. But price. Yeah, that's why I'm going to have to get it back. And price is important. Now, enter the PA9, PG9, whichever version you're getting. This is going to be about half the price. Maybe not quite half. Pretty close, I think. And I think you're going to get pretty much the same performance out of it. There are a couple things you might want to be aware of. For instance, it does not have last shot hold open. Is that super important to you? Might be. There are some other ones like the Freedom. I think it's a Freedom Ordnance FX9. It's got LSHO. I think a lot of the ones you guys are putting together will have it. And you'll integrate it. I like it. Is it like a total showstopper for me not to have last shot hold open on an AR9 style of carbine, or in this case pistol? I wouldn't say a showstopper. I would like it, and I'll give you an example, and it's been sitting in the background. I don't know if you've noticed. How about the ATI version, Emil Sport carbine? Make sure I'm getting the name right. So this does not have last shot hold open, and this is our gun. I actually liked it so much I bought it from Gunnies. No, he didn't give it to me. Bought it, and it's a great, great carbine. That buttstock's still pretty dang stiff, as you can see. But no last shot hold open here, but I still like it. So it shot so extraordinarily accurate, and it was 100% reliable. Yes, this is a full-size PCC, I was like, yeah, whatevs. There's your answer. So no, I would not like discount a gun because it doesn't have last shot hold open. Yes. So philosophy of use, go check out my video. I say this pretty much in every PCC or in this point, AR9 pistol review, why PCCs don't suck after all. That's what I named it back then. I've said in other PCC reviews, like the MKG Guard, I still kind of waffle on the issue, to be totally honest. And I hope you do too. If you're really thinking that you're going into some crap and you need to have a weapon of some sort, a long arm, or in this case, a pistol, then I would recommend upgunning. I've always said that. I mean, yeah, 9mm, if you shoot it rapidly in the same point, it can do damage. I mean, there's special teams that have run MP5s effectively. Granted, that's a full auto gun, but in special applications, yes, I think it works fine. And to me, that's 25 yards in. I know it's effective beyond that, but 25 yards in, maybe out to 50 yards, then I'm thinking, yeah, that'd be good. And again, I'm kind of going over that. I want to spend a lot of time on that because it's in that video. What I'm going to go for, I just want to set the standard for this, is, you guessed it, right here, ladies and gentlemen of TMP. I'm going to do an AR. I mean, it's about the same size and weight, depending on what you go with. I do have a Palmetto State Armory AR-15 pistol review. What? About time. And that thing shot, again, awesome. It shot great, accurate, reliable, small, compact, not super light, but I can forgive that. But yeah, I'll go with an AR. So for serious social purposes, that's what I'll go for. Or maybe an AK variant. Huh. Surprise, surprise, surprise. SGL 31. Sick Duracoat. Still wearing the tap coat stock, and I like it. I don't care what the internet says. It's awesome. With that saw grip on it. It's just a great system. The scope probably needs to be upgraded, but I like how it sits so low. It's just a Weaver 2x7. This is what I'd go for. So much more capable cartridges, longer range capabilities, can defeat obstacles much better than the 9mm. So special purpose, home defense, would I defend my house with a PCC AR9 pistol? Yeah, you could. I think that's actually a good application. I've talked about it again in the video. One thing I will say, and I am kind of rolling this in, I don't think it's in the video, is caliber choice. I always choose a 9mm because it's size efficient, it's cost efficient, it's economical to shoot. There's some great loads out for 9mm, and I don't really think you handicap yourself that much, given the constraints of SAWC, size and weight constraints. There's a big movement, I think, on the internet. I think it's a trend to promote and advocate 10mm, either PCCs or pistols. Basically what I'm showing you here. So they're like, oh man, if you just make it in 10mm, I'd buy it. What I answer to that, and I think I'll be consistent in this, is, hey, I love 10mm. I'm a big fan of the Glock 20, the Glock 29. It's a very capable cartridge. It hits hard, has much longer range, goes through car doors, all that stuff I love. But it's very expensive to shoot. It's very expensive to train with. And if you're going to go with that expense and an increased weight on that platform, you know where I'm going to go with this, right? AR. Why would you not just go with an AR? It's much less expensive to shoot. Well, not much less, but depending on your loads, could be. That's what I'm saying. Go with that. I think they made this. I might be thinking of another gun. Yeah, I am. Never mind. I've only seen the PA9, PG9, and 9mm, but 9mm is a great cartridge. And then to end philosophy of use super quick so we can press on to details how to shoot and what I buy it. It's a great recreational choice. I think that is the real calling for AR9 pistols, if we're honest with ourselves. It's a second cool thing. We like putting them together. We like shooting them. We like taking our friends out. We like pretending that we're kicking in doors as a SWAT team. Granted, I got you a 10.5-inch barreled version, so it's not quite as cool as the internet says. I may revisit that. Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's just really fun. It recoils less than some platforms, less noise than some platforms, and we don't go broke shooting it. Recreational. Going back to PSA's website and barrel length, you'll see this available in several barrel lengths. I've got or they've got 4-inch, 8-inch, 10.5, and 16s is what I saw. I think most of you guys and most of the internet actually really like the short barrels when it comes to AR9 pistols. I don't really think there's that much wrong with it, except one very important thing. Since it's a pistol, it has a brace. Yes, thankfully the law on braces has relaxed, and there's been some common sense interjected into them, so you can't actually shoulder it without creating any drama legally, but you can't put a VG on it. Not legally, you can't do that. Then it becomes a short-barreled rifle. What I was going to say is that when you have a 4-inch barrel, even an 8-inch barrel, it's right there. I think this is like an 8-inch or 9-inch barrel on the CMMG. So you got to be super careful when you're shooting. You don't want to migrate your hand over here to the muzzle. Maybe you're doing some running gunning. You could blow your dang hand off. So be super careful. Plus, you lose velocity. You go with an 8-inch, you're increasing your blast, your noise. Yes, I know most of our Glocks, our SIGs, our pistols are like 4-inch, maybe 3 and 3/4-inch barrels. I get that. But also, we're holding them out here usually, right? But when you come in with this, it might be really close to your face. It might be right here. And if you're not running a can on it or some type of muzzle device that's directing that sound forward, it could really get in your face and be unpleasant. Unpleasant for the dang cameraman. That's for sure. When we're out there, dude, not so much for the AR9s, but other guns, if they're not muzzled up right, that's why I'm running cans more and more. And yeah, my air. Yeah, it's unpleasant. We don't like it, especially some of those blast deflecting ones to the side. Best barrel length that I would go for with a PA9 or PG9, probably this 10.5, maybe an 8. I'll go with you on the 8 because the 8 looks cooler. It's lighter weight. It's more maneuverable. Again, that's what I'm running here. I don't think an 8's so short that it's going to run into those major problems I'm talking about. You still get a little more velocity on it. Philosophy of use done. So, like I said, this will serve for a PG9. I think that's the older Palmetto State Armory AR9, and then the PA9. This is a PG9. Whew, so confusing. Nothing fancy. You're blowing my mind with the terms. Sorry, bro. I wouldn't sweat it too much. Like if I saw this, it's like, well, I'm going to wait for a PA9. I probably wouldn't. And let me tell you why. Because I think the PA9 is running a CAC shockwave like this. This is a bracer running. This is a CMMG, but I'm just showing you the brace. This is fine. I'm not going to say I hate it. I don't. But it's not adjustable, at least in this version. I don't know if CAC makes another one. But it's okay. It's just not super comfortable right here. Unless you shoot it from the arm, then maybe so. That being said, I don't like this one. We're going into features, by the way. This one was used once upon a year on Palmetto State Armories. It's a rubber-covered, non-adjustable, just kind of sitting on a tube brace, split right here so you can actually use it as a brace if you so desire, and it has a Velcro attachment as a brace if you desire. The good news is that it is rubber-covered. It really goes into your shoulder pocket well and doesn't move around. I don't mind this. I just mind the weight. The weight sucks. What I'm seeing now is SBA 3s. They're on it. Oh, I'm sorry. I may have made a mistake. If I said they're putting these on it, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But I think they're using SBA 3s on the PA9. Sorry. I've seen so many different braces on the pistols. But if you're going to pay the money, I would always recommend getting the feature set that you want, because if you don't, it's just going to cost you more. To go out and buy, which I've done lately, SBA 3 braces. They're the adjustable ones. I don't know if I have one on the table here. They're expensive, man. I'm, over $100. That's $100 more you're putting into a 9mm, carbine or AR pistol. If you want to do that, I say rock on. So anyways, that's the brace. This is the older version. If this was my gun, I would ditch this and probably spring for an SBA 3 or something like it. So then we have a standard A2 pistol grip, which I'm still not super fond of because of the division right here, upper lower, but it works. It's always been a little bit narrow for me. Wow, it's too narrow for me. I can't shoot it well. That's why I'm missing the target. We should adapt to whatever platform we have. If we want to adapt it for certain likes and preferences, let's be honest and just say, for second cool, I want a different thing. But it works great. It worked for the military for freaking forever. And then The trigger on this PG9, I don't think is their enhanced performance trigger, which has some polished surfaces in it. I think the newer ones, the PA9s, have that. This one pulls at mil spec 6.5, 7 pounds. It's okay. It's not great. Would I change it out? And it does accept normal AR triggers? Depends. You probably thought I was going to say, yeah, I'd change it out for sure. Not necessarily, because it really depends what I'm going to use the gun for. And I'm getting to the point, I've said this in some reviews, that I don't want to put more money in guns. I want to keep them stock. I want to minimize the amount spent on them. And here's a major reason why. Can you think of it? Resale. Thank you. That's right, resale. Now, granted, you can pull all that crap off, but whether it's a trigger, whether it's a brace, maybe some other stuff you put on your gun, and resell it, but you're going to take a big loss when you do it. If anyone buys it at all, you're going to have to find a platform that will allow you to sell it. It won't be eBay, probably Gunbroker, and then you're flooded with all types of other stuff that people have to notice. It's just a pain in the butt. So I like to keep it pretty standard unless I know I'm keeping it forever. And the answer to would I do it with the PG9, if I kept this gun forever, yes, I'd put a decent trigger in it. There you go. A large trigger guard on this. This is a billet upper and lower, 70-75 aluminum. I think this is a Gen 3 upper and lower. And I couldn't tell you all the differences. It might be a Gen 4. For instance, it doesn't have a forward assist. Thank you very much. It's a 9mm pistol. We don't need that. And it does have a shell deflector, albeit very low profile. Really clean milling. Kind of an extended magazine release on this side only. So if you're right-handed, you'll love this gun. Left-handed, you'll be able to adapt. Did Jardine shoot this? I can't remember. I don't think he shot the PA9. So he's left-handed, so he's a crew. That's why. Then we got standard bolt hold open for the PG9 PA9. Now, no last shot hold open, so when I pull it back, I do have a magazine in it. Safety checked, of course. It's not going to hold open, but we can do this. I mean, we can just pull it open, hit the bottom of the paddle, and then it will stay open. So that's cool if you need to do that. Standard charging handle. I wouldn't probably put anything bigger on this. I wouldn't waste the money because I'm going to run something small and compact for the philosophy of uses that I've kind of discussed already. Recreational, home defense, close range inside of 50 yards. You're looking at a top choice still. This is a Hollow Sun 503C on. Use my link below. I still love them. Still love these. They are just so excellent. They're like 4 ounces. They're super lightweight. They work great. This one, I don't think you can see it. No, it's like a 65 MOA circle with a little tiny crosshair dot in the middle. I've reviewed these years ago. But getting back to the charging handle, I have no occlusion here, so why do I need an extended charging handle? Unless you just want to do it for coolness, or didn't really mention this philosophy of use specifically with the Palmettos if you're competing. So when you're competing, every microsecond counts. Anything you can do to speed up your times, then guys are going to do it. And I totally understand, and I'm actually an advocate of that because you're playing a game. You're just playing a shooting game. You're trying to get more speed, more speed, more speed. If that means this or that, I've said that before. We have a single point attachment here. We have some flush QD cups here. I don't know if I'd mount anything there, and you don't have anything in the aft except you could do a mash hook here. You could do like a flush mount here, and then you could have a loop on it if and you wanted. I really love the rail that comes on this one. It's M-LOK, very trim, thin rail. It's made by for PSA by Midwest Industries, highly ventilated. If I were to give any advice, I would probably ditch some of this Picatinny rail on the top to lighten it up even more. You don't need all this metal up here. And there are a lot of manufacturers that are cluing in on it. Apparently CMMG did not. Although this is a shorter rail. This is what, like 9-inch rail? I don't really know the length of this rail, but I do like it. And they have different variations too. Some will slant forward, some will be straight, I think, and it may change over time. But as long as it stays with MI, has this type of presentation, I'll call myself a fan of it. Pretty cool. You can see the barrel profile in there. Again, this is a 10.5-inch barrel, 4150 steel. Kind of an M4 profile running in there. Then we have like a deflection cone muzzle device that's fluted on the end of this. Let me put my glove behind it so it'll focus. I don't mind it. It's pretty cool, actually. If you want to take this off, what you're going to do, since this is, of course, a blowback weapon and it's not a direct gas impingement, so you don't have any plumbing coming back from the barrel. You don't have any tap-off points, gas blocks. It's clean. So all you have to do is just loosen and take off your guard right here. 2 nuts right here. And by the way, it stayed stable during the entire test. And then slide it off. And then this muzzle device has some flats on it. You could spin it off. We didn't run a can on this one because I don't have a round form factor can that would work with this. Maybe I should get one day. But if you do, run it. As it was, did this really change the sound signature of the PSA AR9? I didn't really notice it. It seemed like it was as loud as normal. It didn't, mitigate the recoil impulse, which I'll talk about more here in a second. It looks cool though. It looks really cool, and I don't think it adds a ton of weight. I think that's made out of aluminum there, and I think the threading on that sucker is 1/2 inch by 36. 1/2 by 36, 9 mm. Let me show you the Magwell here, and maybe, just maybe, I'll break into it, and then we'll talk about another feature. Now, in the background, again, is that ATI, this one right here. And I still like this gun. It's running an ETS mag in it. By way of representation, we'll look at the Magwell. One of my criticisms that I've always leveled, and it seems like the manufacturers have been paying attention, is get rid of all this dang metal right here. We don't need all that. And if you look at the PSA, it has about the same amount right here. But look at the CMMG. They got rid of it, so it's milled out more. I think that trend will continue as manufacturers realize, hey, let's get rid of some ounces there and maybe some cost too, albeit milling does cost money. And then we're going to break inside of it. The next generation of Palmetto AR9s, they have an integral key built into the bolt, BCG, whatever you want to call it. This one is, again, the previous generation, so it has 2 screws which are staked. Now this is blowback, so again, we don't have any plumbing for direct gas or anything. We don't need it. It's just simple blowback, and it's functional simply by blowback principles with which you're probably familiar. There's a weight in the back of it, which, by the way, is removable. I think you might be able to tune this with some different weights for different loads, but you can actually remove, I think, this pin right here, take out the weight, and then you could take it all apart, I guess, if you want to. But it has like a 1911 style extractor, has a fixed ejector on it, just like, well, pretty much every AR9 out there. Simple, and it has a buffer weighted properly for reliable function, coupled with a properly, I should say, tuned spring. I think the whole process to make your AR9 reliable is pretty simple, but if you put yours together, and Wyatt and I were talking about this last night, it's going to take you some tuning perhaps to get it right. I think there's some great kits out there that you can do it and roll your own if you want. PSA is a manufacturer of such kits. Quick look inside, standard spec trigger. But again, the latest generations will have that integral key. I don't really care. I say that, I'm not trying to be flippant about it, but I want us to be realistic when we talk about features. I like that they've done that, but I run ARs all the time that don't have that feature, and I don't have freaking gas keys flying off. They're staked. I've never had a gas key come off, and I've shot a lot. So if guys like, oh, I'm going to wait till that integral key comes out. It's 9mm. I wouldn't worry about it. I think it's more of marketing than anything, so they can brag about it. I think that's features, more or less. The feel of the gun, at least this 10.5 one, is pretty tight. I like it. It swings super fast into action, and we're kind of morphing into how did it shoot. You don't have any adjustable length of pull like you would with an SBA 3. But I really like it. It's tight. It's fast in action. It feels light up front. There is a little bit of movement between the upper and lower. I forgot to mention that. I might AccuWedge that if I could. But it is an AR9, so I'm not really reaching out to 300 meters in this thing. I'm not. Maybe you will. Yeah, I didn't really notice it shooting it, though. But it feels good. I like it compared to something shorter. And this will get to length preference, I guess. That's what she said. Just having a good time. This one's even cooler. I got to be honest with you. I mean, it's even faster and cooler. Jardine and I said that. I love the MKG, and maybe I would go with an 8. I wouldn't go with a 4, though. I'll stick with that. The recoil impulse, I wouldn't say it's like punishing by any means. It's just a 9mm, and I'm rolling in footage during this whole review, taking out of the bunker. It was cool, but there's some push. I mean, you can tell it's a blowback gun. You know, there's some muzzle rise, there's some push, there's some reciprocating mass there. And I'm only saying this is because I've shot something that isn't that, and it's a CMMG MKG guard for $1,000 or whatever it is. But it does shoot better, smoother, if you care. That being said, though, we dealt with it. We had a great time with it. And check this out. Not a single malfunction. Safe direction. Aiming at the back of the missile silo. Not a single malfunction out of all the loads and out of all the magazines we tested out there, which is to include Glock, of course, which is to include Korean 33 rounders. And these are kind of hit and miss in certain platforms. They're not always great. They're not. And then ETS mags. Speaking of which, if you buy a new PSA AR9, I think they come with a 31 rounder polycarbonate clear ETS mag, which what we saw, I don't know if I ran an extended one, but we ran these shorter ones. They ran fine. And sometimes ETS won't run in a gun. You know, it just depends. And I think that's the end of the magazines that we tested in it. No jams at all. No stoppages that I can remember. And that's a huge plus. So that might weigh in favor of buying one that's put together because you have that warranty by PSA, which I understand they're good about backing up if you have a problem, versus putting one together yourself. But if you have a lot of time, you don't mind tuning it and running out in the range, coming back, go for it. And they're super smart, as is everybody. Again, they made this sucker for Glock mags. I think everybody learned from Kel-Tec, didn't they? Because Kel-Tec, they made other lowers, compatible lowers. I'm thinking of the Sub 2K, and they just didn't sell. They just sat on the shelves. I think there was one for Smith & Wesson, one for Beretta magazines. Am I thinking that right? And then, of course, the Glocks are flying off the shelves. I'm talking the Kel-Tec Sub 2000, and they still fly off the shelves. I mean, at Gunnies, if he has Sub 2K with Glock compatibility, it's gone.
Really good.
I think most makers are like that. They're gone. Sub 2000, again, great competitive option. If you have one, don't ever sell it. It's awesome. Okay, so it was accurate, reliable, a little bit of push, nothing too bad. How did it shoot accuracy-wise? I'm going to show you this target first. I wasn't super impressed with this. I'm not going to lie. It was okay. So you see some CCI loads on there. American Eagle. We've got... oh, yeah. I wrote Flyer Always. I did notice that in this barrel, it seems like one round would just kind of distance itself from the rest of the group. CCI Blazer Brass. Federal, look at that, dudes. Really good. That's a great group. Granted, it's only 25 yards, though. Federal 125 opened up there. Trigger sucks. It's a mil-spec trigger. I love the Holosun Circle sight. And then, I was only using 2x4 rests. Oh, and this was at Lions Club range. So this is at a range, not in the desert.
Really, really good. I'm happy.
In the desert, I got these results. This is going back to October. Winchester White Box, Blazer Brass, shooting really good. Federal 115 FMJ. These are all great groups. Again, just 25 yards. Fiocchi 115 XTPs, really good. Premium 115 jacket hollow points, 25 yards. So at 25 yards, I would say this wasn't a great representation. Maybe it was just me that day. I don't know. At 25 yards, pretty impressive. I did try to get it to print in the at nighttime in the desert at 50 yards just with a Holosun, and I'll be honest with you, I had some difficulty with it. I don't know if it was me, but my groups weren't that great. They were like this. And I was like, crap, man, what's going on with this thing? But it was cold. It was like 20 degrees out. I've been shooting for 8 hours straight. I just chalked it up to me and human factors. I think if you put a scope on it, not an unmagnified optic, something maybe like that primary arms 2.5, I think you'll find that your Palmetto State Armory AR9, whatever flavor you're getting, will shoot fine. Now we're going to wrap it up. How long am I into this bunker review? Oh, freaking 40 minutes. Oh, my goodness. Time flies when you're having fun. Funny thing is, though, guys love the long videos. As a YouTube consumer myself, I love long form videos as long as they are interesting. Yeah, if they're not interesting, I'm out of there. You're probably the same way. If you're in a hurry, always just click 1.5, 1.75 times speed factor in YouTube and rip through this review. Oh, by the way, this is an Audi Gear multicam soft shell. No, I don't recommend it. Sorry, I don't. Just way too expensive. I worked with Audi Gear years ago and just see if I could get you guys a discount, and he basically just blew me off. I asked like 3 times, like, hey man, you guys got a lot of markup in your product. Can we do a 20% for TMPers? Answer was nope. So there's my thoughts on Audi Gear. Great kit, some quirks, but I paid money for it myself prior to me knowing all this, and so I still wear it. Patches at bigcartel.com, dudes. Patches. Now, wrapping it up. Would I buy a Palmetto State Armory PG9, PA9, or whatever AR9 is out there? The answer is yes, absolutely. I think for the price, you're going to be super happy. You saw me writing the price on this one. It's like $665. I said half of the MKG. That's not quite true, but it's a lot less. And again, go to Gunnies, the Great American Gun Store, if you're interested. Yeah, I'd buy it. I mean, it's a great gun. About the only thing I can say that I don't like is the last shot hold open. And I've already addressed that. And I think the newer upgraded versions are giving you better furniture, more interior upgrades. There you go. For competitive options, I mentioned the Sub 2K. I love it. Tresna Jag 9, I've reviewed that. Freedom Ordnance 9mm, it's FX9. That comes in an 8 1/4 inch barrel. It does have last shot hold open, KNS anti-walk pins on it, kind of some upgraded features. They say don't swap out the trigger on that, and they give some listings of ammunition they recommend you shoot with it, which I always think is kind of a red flag, meaning that, oh, this won't run with any kind of ammunition. I don't like that, but it could be a great gun. MKG guard I've been talking about the whole time. By the way, this is called the SOB. I forgot to say that. PG9 SOB, whatever that means. Ruger PC9 carbine. It's not a pistol, I know. Sure love it, though. 6 pounds, 14 ounces, though. It's great for fooling around. I said that in the Ruger PC carbine review. If I'm getting serious, you know what I'm taking. This, maybe that. That's a mini Draco. I'll take that, dude. Totally. Marlin Camp carbine. And then you have that T&W Aero Survival pistol. I haven't checked it out yet. It's like 6 pounds. Enough said. Great job, PSA. We're going to give you a salute. Lieutenant Colonel Nothing Fancy reporting from the bunker deep in the heart of the missile silo. All right, we're having a good time here, dudes. It's going to be rocking and rolling here. You're going to like what you see coming. Go out and buy a PSA, be happy, save a bunch of money, and go, take your wife out to dinner. See ya.